Hello and good afternoon from Creative Words, your little touch of content alchemy on a Wednesday lunchtime. So we're still talking about blogging at the moment, and I thought today I would talk about one of the biggest challenges that most people find they face when it comes to blogging, and that is consistency. Hitting a regular schedule when it comes to blogging. We can all recognize the value of blogging, and when you make a start, you're very enthusiastic, you start with a couple of great blogs, and then you kind of run out of things to say. Finding something new to say, showing up every week or every fortnight or to whatever schedule you set is really important, because as your audience starts to engage with you, they are looking for something new every time, but you can hit problems in coming up with that something new. So there's a 4-letter word that you need to remember and you need to think about the whole time, and that 4-letter word is plan. It's not an acronym, it just really helps, even before you start blogging, to have a good plan. And there are a couple of things to include in that plan. Number one, have a really, really clear idea about your audience. I can imagine you guessed I was going to say that, because let's be honest, I always say start with your audience. It is really, really important to understand who your audience is and to think about what interests them. Think about why they might be reading your blog, and also what you want them to get from it. And that's quite useful if you think about it from the terms of what do you want them to think, what do you want them to feel, or what do you want them to do, or what combinations of those three. So always have that in your mind. Who am I speaking to? What do I want them to feel, think, or do? Then plan out the frequency of your blog. If you're very pushed for time, do not plan to blog every day. Decide how often you can realistically blog. I do my written blog once a fortnight. I do my live once a fortnight. So effectively, I'm doing something new once a week. That I know I can sustain, that I know gives me enough time to think of something new to say, that I know gives me enough time to prepare it and to make sure it happens. And then, once you have decided what that frequency is, book time in your diary to do it. Because if you say, oh yes, I always do a blog once a week, but you don't schedule that time, something else will come up and it won't happen. So book the time to actually make it happen. Put it in your diary that that hour on a Wednesday is preparing my video live and then recording it. That slot every single week is in my diary to either write a blog or do a live video. So really set that time aside to do it. Treat it as if you would treat any other business appointment. Then before you start blogging, again, before you start, sketch out what you think your first 6 to 8 topics will be. So think about what your first one will be, and then what will be the next 5 or 6 after that. Because if you have that plan in place, it gives you the opportunity to keep thinking, okay, well, I've got to think 6 weeks ahead, but I know what's happening next week. So you don't panic. So always try and keep 6 or 7 topics ahead. Oh, well, I can write about this, or I can write about that. Now, it doesn't matter if you decide to do something different because something new comes up, but if you've got 6 or 7 topics in the bag, you never need to worry about finding your content for next week. So you don't ever find yourself looking at a blank piece of paper or a blank screen. The other thing that I would suggest you do, which is going to help you be consistent, is never travel without a pen and paper. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, when the thought pops into your head, that would make a good topic for a blog, write it down straight away. Don't assume you will remember, because you never will. I never do. I have great ideas for blogs, don't write them down, and then when I come to actually think about that blog, I can't remember what it was. So always plan, have as much of a forward view as you possibly can, and that will help you make sure that you're in a good place. But first and foremost, set the time aside, make it a consistent time when you're going to work on it so that you can produce the consistency to other people. That's it from me for today. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you soon.